I love him so much. Oh, and he loves me too. Today, we're going to begin construction on our very own Vault Tech certified vault. Yes, that's right. We're going to build a brighter future underground. So I'm using the build your own vault mod. So it starts out with this little like preset entry area, and you can't really do anything with it. You can add stuff, but as you can see, it doesn't have a vault number. It's just super generic. And down there's where the workbench is. And I just blocked it off because it doesn't look good, and I don't want to go down there. So as you can see, the floor is kind of raised up here. Well, you'll see it in a minute. But what it is the uh, the actual doorway doesn't snap with any of the pieces that came with the Vault Tech DLC. So I had to use floor pieces from the Build Your Own Vault mod and make a floor that I could then lay a DLC floor on top of and line it up so I could snap a hallway in place. And that's why the floor was a little raised up like that. So now we're going to start building just a little wide area so that this hallway opens up. And I like to use these pieces as much as possible because the red just looks really cool. And these end caps, they don't snap where the dam, so you've got to get like right up on them and then look straight down almost, and then they'll turn green. So another end cap. So now we're going to start building a hallway, and this will lead toward the security station and the emergency medical bay and a few other little places that I'm not going to spoil for you because once we're done building here, we will have a guided tour. So just looking for a piece with a window that isn't on both sides because like Bethesda gave us a ton of pieces and it's really great considering how a lot of times they just really give us the short end of the stick on things. So over here is where the security station will be, but we're going to go ahead and finish off the hallway. So stretch it down a little bit further. Let's see, window there. I'm going to end up removing that window because it just looks out into nothing once I install the hospital area. So let's start on the security area. So you always put in a door first. You connect the pieces door to door, and that's how you branch off into new rooms. So using that principle, as you can see, you can build really quickly and just throw a room together in no time at all. So over here will be a special little storeroom, and I'm still figuring out how the pieces work. So you can see I'm kind of thinking this through. What am I supposed to do? So do I want a hallway here? Yeah, that looks good. So with the security station, we're going to put 2 holding cells in here. Now, I didn't realize that there wasn't a corner piece with a window on it. So I got to snap this in, and I noticed it just doesn't quite line up. But it looks better than if the window was blocked up. And you got to have a window to see what the prisoners are doing. So I just left it that way, and I kind of hide it a little, and it looks all right, I think. But see, that's what I was talking about when the windows don't line up. It looks terrible. So just add another row of walls to this. All right, so that's the security office done. Now this is a pain. The windows, to get them to go in, you have to have one half of the wall. If you can't have both halves, or the window won't go in. So this will be our hospital wing. As usual, we just start off with a really long hallway. Really long hallway, I said. All right, that's better. So a couple of windows, door, another door, and an end cap. Thank you. So here we're going to put our little emergency medical clinic. So this would be like for the people who were injured by the bombs going off as they were trying to enter the vault. And reading on like the Fallout wiki, most vaults were stationed with 24-hour medical staff. They had an auto dock machine, which was in Fallout 3 but doesn't appear in this game, like a lot of things from Fallout 3. So we'll begin with the clinic here again. Use a door. Alright, more windows. So like I said, this stuff does go together easily once you've figured it out. And because I'm using the Build Your Own Vault mod, I don't have any solid ground to build on, so it forces you to really figure out how the pieces work quickly. Alright, so I decided I want another door there. It's always good to have, just with your vault, just a tangled knot of rooms that vary large, small sizes. It adds more variety to your build. So, like with earlier, I'm not going to tell you what this room is for. You'll see it at the end, and I do not want to spoil it for you because this is a really cool room. All right, so that half's done. We're now going to build another big red hallway. This big red hallway is going to be bigger and redder than any other hallway I've built so far, I guess. All right, so another end cap. Now the end cap is working. It's really strange. I don't know. So down this way, we're going to have our air filtration system. Another end cap. Now this is real fun, staring at this going really fast and trying to make this stuff up as I go along. All these other guys on YouTube, they make it look so easy. Alright, so another little wind right there. Now this will head over to the auxiliary power station that'll basically be supplying electricity for this level of the vault. And I guess presumably if something went wrong with the main reactor core, this one could be used to keep the emergency lights running until repairs could be made. Alright, and again, once you figure out what you're doing, you just throw the room together very quickly. Alright, and now I try to put the Vault-Tec reactor in the floor, but if you have it fully surrounded, it will not snap in place, which I figured that out after I stopped recording. So for the time being, I just used a classic Fallout 4 builder's trick here. Because the old pieces that we have from previous workshops and the vanilla game do not really like to snap with the Vault-Tec pieces either. So, and even if I could list it in the description, I for the life of me can't remember which mod this reactor comes from, but there should be a few out there that have the Vault-Tec reactor. So we just get nice and centered, and now we'll build the roof. Once that's done, we'll only have one more room in this build to do, and then we'll go to the tour. So, now just some ceiling squares, and thank God that's done, because watching that room get built was really boring. Alright, so, oop, no, maybe, oop, there, okay, no. Alright, let's see, okay, there we go. Alright, so this is going to be like a locker changing room area. Because you got to change out of your burnt radioactive clothes after you get down. Oh no! So, anyway, back where we were. Well, not quite back where we were. So it's a good thing I fell, because then I was able to come back and notice that that window just looked like absolute shit. So rip that out, jump across, and oh my, the build system is being finicky. Whatever will I do? I know, I'll remove half of what I've built so I can get one piece to fit. And, there it is. Well, that was rewarding. So we'll just repair the damage the game did and press on. So down the hallway, back to the locker room of death. So we're going to be very careful about this now. And also just put a little stairwell in here so that if I do back out of the door again, I won't fall to my death. And again, pieces are being finicky, so it'll snap to the open hallway, but the stair won't snap to a doorway, presumably. So we'll just do that, and there. I won't be falling out of there anymore. So we're going to have two little wings that branch off, presumably one for men, one for women, because, you know, no hanky-panky in the vault unless the overseer approves of it. Which I'm the overseer, so I do not approve. Alright, so over here we're going to build our air recycling plant. I guess would be a good name for it. I don't know, I'm not an engineer. Get somebody with a PhD to make this shit up. I build. So, here's a little trick I came up with. So obviously the room is not going to be anywhere near that big, but that gives us plenty of space so that we can rug glitch in our heavy machinery. Which I'm not going to show decorating the entire vault, but I did want to show this part just because if anybody else is using the decorations and furniture, what is it? Expansion pack, whatever. It'll be in the description. It might be a little frustrating trying to get these really big pieces to, do anything. So, fortunately, they are susceptible to the rug glitch. So just throw the room together, and where the hell am I going? Oh, yeah, that door shouldn't have been there. Another shitty end cap, and let's go back to what we were doing. So just lay down some rugs. I like to set a couple of rugs down so I can just grab them and I'm not swapping back between what I'm moving and the actual rug tab. So, wrong tab, structures, there we are now. We got some really just huge louver looking things. We don't need an electrical tower, but let's see. No, that looks like shit. Okay, now that looks good. That looks like a big ass AC unit. And rug glitch is so fantastic. Big shout out to No Respawns for tipping me off about the rug glitch. Check out his videos. The man is a genius. So we're just going to slide these in. They don't have to be perfect, but oh, now that's in the way. So we'll just move that. Get rid of all these floors. And remember, store your pieces. Don't scrap them. You'll just use them again. Alright, so move that back in place. Oh, nope, maybe. There it is. Yeah, that looks good. So finicky. Alright, need another machine right here. The room looks too empty. Oh, need some corners over here. Otherwise, we'll forget that we're not actually underground. Shh! Alright, now that that's all done, let's have a look. So, in the entrance area, I've just kind of filled it up with random Vault-Tec junk. I think it looks pretty good. You can tell I'm using a lot of mods here. Now, I'm also using the Build Your Own Vault mod, of course. So, over here is where the workbench would be, and it looks pretty stupid, so I just barred it off and made it look like a general disaster had occurred over here. So, presumably, this is where the people would come in, and they would be funneled through here. Now, they're not fucking kidding when they say watch your step. Because this is the Build Your Own Vault mod, it doesn't quite line up properly. So we go in through the entrance, and already we can see discarded luggage and children's toys. It's very sad. And this is where the people would have been forcibly stripped of their luggage, because you're vault living now. You don't need luggage. We have clothes for you. You leave that shit right here. So this is where the proper vault actually begins. So the people would come through here, and the first thing you pass is the security station. I really like how this turned out. Now, these walls don't actually come with the Vault-Tec DLC, which is stupid. Thank you, Bethesda. But with the mod, I can't remember the name of it, check in the description, I was able to make these fantastic little partitions. So we've got a little kitchenette and a locker room. Then through here, presumably some people who aren't on the list might sneak into the vault. So this is where we would keep them until they can be dealt with. So I'm only going to show you one because it's the same room twice. But you've got just about everything you need in here, including a little sanitary annex, which was a pain in the ass to make. Shout out to the Snap and Build mod. That thing is a lifesaver at times. Of course, let's close the door. Close doors behind you. So over here, in case of emergency, of course, is small armory. It's not much. It's just a little thing. And we got a couple of guns laying around. And the warehouse shelves mod, it's pretty kick-ass. All this is a solid piece. None of this shit's gonna go flying off if there's a random explosion in here, which this looks like the kind of place where a random explosion would occur. So I like how this turned out. Believe it or not, this took, not counting the gun racks, this probably took about 10 minutes to make. It was super easy. Of course, rug glitch, these safes in, they came from the Better Containers mod, if I remember correctly. That's a must. And also, if you're on PS4, I'm sorry that Sony and Bethesda are just giving you the business, like bent over a chair, sweaty, unpleasant like. But presumably sooner or later, that shit will clear up, which is more than you can say about a lot of things. So if you manage to make it past the security checkpoint, and you you got caught in the blast, you know, your skin's been burnt off, you're heavily irradiated, you're near death, uh, leaving fluids on the floor, you would be brought through here, a little waiting area, to an emergency medical lab. So this turned out pretty good. I love these gurneys. I waited so long for a mod to come out with these gurneys, and one came out just today, so fucking lifesaver. Uh, Cannot think of that mod off the top of my head, so it will be in the description. Check it out. So then we have these two, and they're basically identical, but I'll show you both of them because there's little things here and there. But we have two surgery bays, and these turned out really sweet. I'm quite pleased with this. And then a little sink here to wash the blood off your hands. And surgery bay part 2. This almost looks like some shit from Aliens. I really like it. So if you're lucky enough to have not died at this point, you would probably be taken in here so that you could get some much needed rest and take your medicine. Always take your fucking medicine. So if you are not fortunate enough to survive your first night in the vault, well, over here, through the miracle of modern refrigeration, you can be stored in our morgue until the time comes that an opening appears, and we can work you into the schedule for final disposition. So we have two big ass incinerators here. I'm really happy with these. These are from the Decorations and Furniture Expansion mod, another life-saving mod. If it weren't for these mods I'm mentioning, there wouldn't have even been a point to all this, because as usual, Bethesda's selection of decorations leaves one wanting, but you'll find this cool. So to get this effect, I rug glitched it in after putting some campfires in, and that gives us this nice fire glow, and if you get close enough, you should be able to hear it crackling. So this is probably the most morbid room in the vault. That's why I put extra care and attention into the details. So this is truly an unpleasant and disturbing place to be. So let's venture deeper into the bowels of this subterranean hell that Vault Tech has given us. So here we enter a maintenance corridor. Now, I keep using the phrase, I'm really happy or whatever with this, but this turned out so well. And we'll just venture down this left branch here, and this is presumably, with any kind of underground nuclear fallout shelter, the air circulation system would draw air in from the surface, and then through massive filtration units clean the radioactive particles out of the air, and it would actually become breathable. So this is our filtration room that's near the surface that's actually pulling the air in. And then further down we'll probably build just one more, because again this room is pretty cool. These machines are awesome. So we'll just hurry back this way. Now if we just go right across the junction here, again this kind of reminds me of Aliens. Over here we have the auxiliary reactor room. And I didn't put as much work into this because this isn't the main reactor room. And also, you know, if you've watched the other video, then you've already seen me do a good looking reactor room. So this was just kind of thrown together real fast. And also that mod I can't remember the name of gave us a lot more choices in these console and terminal pieces, and they're all sectional, like each one is its own piece. And they need to fix this little texture glitch here. This happened after I like spawned out of the game area and then came back, but honestly I don't care. I've wanted these so long, I don't care if they were fucking polka dotted. I'd still put them in the vault. But, so that's the auxiliary generator room, and keep the door closed because you never know when a good old-fashioned gamma burst might rip through the tunnels and irradiate everything in sight. So now we get to the final section of our build for today. So you've been ushered through here by armed guards. They're screaming, yelling, people are falling out on the floor. All manner of hell is breaking loose. Finally you make it to the end, and you're told to take off your clothes and put on your Vault Tech jumpsuit. It's a very special moment in any Vault Dweller's life. But first, you have to go into these little private areas that clean you up so you get all that dust off of you, because the last thing we want is you bringing your radioactive filth into our nice clean vault. That just wouldn't do. All the sheets presumably are nice and clean. It's like that movie Titanic. The sheets have never been slept in, and the little plastic TV trays have never been eaten on. So we don't want you tracking in a bunch of wasteland crud. These floors are nice and clean. This linoleum has to last for 200 years, so we have to take care of it. But anyway, I digress. So this has been Mr. Strontium, and I hope to see you again soon. This has actually been kind of fun. So, till next time.